welcome Jennifer Wolf and from Project Mosaic here as well. Jennifer, first of all, I got to tell you, I was really excited to hear that we had an advisory member to Johns Hopkins, which has been ground zero for tracking the data from this virus. And every time you're watching, doesn't matter what station, Fox, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, they are using data from Johns Hopkins to track and to inform America how we are being impacted by this pandemic and by this virus and the pandemic. Can you talk about the impacts that you've seen?
So yeah, first of all, I'd just like to greet you in our traditional way. Buju, Jennifer Wolf, Nindishnakas, Ishkwe Gijigum, Kwe Nindigo Jibomag, Swans Lake neighborhood, Nindanangum. Greetings from the ancestral territory of the Cheyenne, Arapaho, and Ute tribes, and I greet you warmly in my Ojibwa language. I am the owner of Project Mosaic, which is a consulting firm that works with tribes and Native organizations across Indian country. I have my master's in public health, so a lot of what we do are public health strategies, communication strategies, social media strategies. Yeah, we are just really trying to use, you had asked about, how we are responding to this. And we are really focusing on reminding folks that Native people have adapted and endured 500 years of pandemics and injustices. And the way we've survived is by leaning on our greatest strengths. We wouldn't be here if our families were not fiercely protective of our loved ones, especially our elders. And we're also incredibly resilient people. And we continue to value our elders as culture bearers, storytellers, language keepers, and are linked to our ancestors. And you will also hear from many Native Americans and when they speak about 7 generations. And this is the idea that what we do now will affect the next 7 generations. So really, a lot of what I do is strategic planning, but Native Americans are the natural strategic planners because they're thinking 7 generations down the road. So one of the other assets that our people have that a lot of people from outside our communities are not aware of is our sense of humor. Others may see us as a very serious or stoic people, but in reality, our ability to laugh together has gotten us through centuries of hardships. And Indian humor, as it's called within our own communities, is a way that we build trust with one another. If you can tease, you can forgive. And if you can laugh, you can connect. So those are also very important tools in health communication strategies. But speaking of trust, the flip side of that is something that Adrian mentioned. And it stems from our protective nature that I was talking about. We're very cautious about trusting outsiders and institutions, and with good reason. We aren't just going to wear a mask or get a shot because the government tells us to, because listening to the government without question hasn't worked well for us in the past in many situations. So that's why it's extra important for our communities to demonstrate and role model health behaviors from within, and to remind ourselves that our core values include protecting one another. Wearing a mask is a sign of respect and strength, and getting a shot is an act of resilience. And so that's how we behave as modern day warriors today. I'm just really want to applaud Rick and Adrian and so many of our sister, it's amazing that they call each other sister organizations, because we really do act like a family in many ways. We've pulled together so well to launch some incredible public health communication strategies. And the collaborations have happened between our community partners of not only the Colorado Commission of Indian Affairs, but also the Denver American Indian Commission. That meant that allies from over 30 organizations and our 2 tribes, in Colorado, the Southern Ute Tribe and the Ute Mountain Ute Tribes, worked together to create culturally appropriate infographics, PSAs. We have a text hotline for COVID and community resources. Project Mosaic helped bring some of these ideas to life, but really the heart and the soul of these campaigns was the community and the community partners. And we leaned heavily on those Indigenous cultural values to inform the strategies, remembering that we are not victims in this crisis, but we are empowered to protect one another through mask wearing, social distancing, hand washing, and now the vaccine. So the PSAs and the materials definitely featured well-known leaders and elders demonstrating these acts of love, including Adrian and Rick. But Rick also mentioned the survey. One of the surprising results from that I will also bring up is, we asked they asked the elders, what sort of hardships are you facing? Housing insecurity, food insecurity. And one thing that really got to my heart was that a lot of our elders said that they're lonely, they're facing isolation. So, being that we value and we honor our elders to such a high degree, that was just an important reminder to all of us that we need to be checking in on one another, because our elders are feeling lonely.
Because my question, follow-up question to you was going to be, we've just experienced an amazing year where many of our elders, many of us, all of us have been isolated and cut off from our normal way of going about our lives, and wondering what the coping mechanisms were for the American Indian community to help each other get through the very difficult times over the last year.
Well, I would just like to see more of what some of the good work that's happening on the Southern Ute tribes and the Mountain Ute tribes. They're doing a lot of cultural sharing activities virtually, where young people can get online and learn how to make fry bread, or learn how to make a ribbon skirt, or learn how to do some of these traditional things. And it's really making the elders feel valued, and it's providing new opportunities for youth to learn some of these cultural assets.